Morning students. Today we'll start the new chapter after half-yearly exam in class 9 biology, and today we are going to start diversity in living organisms. You all know about diversity. Diversity means variety of living organisms, either it is a plant or a animal. So in this chapter we have to study about the different forms of living organisms which are present on the earth according to their size, color, shape, structure. Many living organisms, they are of different shapes, they are of different size, colors, so they vary. And there are millions of living organisms on this earth, so it is not possible to categorize how the living organisms according to their shape and color. So classification is must. And in this chapter we have to study only about how the living organisms are classified according to their shape or color or their habitat or their features. So first of all, I want to tell you that this diversity word, which is derived by the scientist Walter G. Rosen, and he coined the term diversity, and he defined diversity means variety of living organisms or a varied forms of living organisms which are present on the earth, either they are plants or animals. Now, first we'll study about the binomial nomenclature, how the organisms are named. So binomial nomenclature means bi means two and nomial means naming. So whenever all the living organism, whether it is a plant or animal, they are given the two names, and that is on then that's why it is called binomial nomenclature. Bi means two and nomial means naming. So the first name which is given the genus name, and the second is the species name. So genus name, as we all know that we have studied about we know about the frog. Frog is belongs to amphibians, means which live on land as well as in water. So frog is given the two names, that is Rana, Tigrina. Rana is the genus name and Tigrina is the species name. So two names are given, that's why this is called binomial nomenclature, and it is also called scientific naming of the living organism. And all the living organism, plant or animal, they are given this binomial nomenclature only, genus name as well as species name. So their scientific name, they are accepted all over the world, and they are derived from the Latin language. Latin language, which was once present, but now it is a dead language, and this name is given in the Latin language only. They are given the names. And in the in the hierarchy of the classification, we study about how the living organisms are categorized into different groups. The first highest classification is the Animalia, and after Animalia means kingdom. First we take it, which is the highest classification in the hierarchy. Then comes phylum, then class, then order, then family, then genus, and then species. So whenever any living organisms, they are given the binomial nomenclature or the two names in their genus name and species name. So there are some rules to write, how to write the names of these living organisms, or this nomenclature is given. So the first rule is that always the genus name starts with the capital letter. Like here I have written R-A-N-A, Rana. So R should be written in capital letter, and Tigrina, that is the species name, starts with the small letter. T starts with the small letter. So this is the genus name and this is the species name. So this genus name Rana is the genus name and species is the Tigrina is the species name. So Rana means the genus name always starts with a capital letter, and the species name always starts with a small letter. And always they are written in italics. So this is the rule which we have to follow while writing the binomial nomenclature. And as I was telling about the hierarchy of the different classification, so hierarchy means it is all the living organisms is categorized, or they're given according to the kingdom first, which is the highest classification in the classification system. Then comes phylum, then class, then order, then family, then genus, and the smallest one is the species name. So like if we take the example of the Panthera leo. Panthera leo is the scientific name of the lion. So Panthera leo, it is written like this. It is always written in italics. So whenever we write it, then the genus name, that is Panthera, it starts with the capital P, and the species name, that is Leo, starts with the L with the small letter. So this is, and when we categorize in the hierarchy of the classification system, then the kingdom of the Panthera leo, their kingdom is Animalia, means they belong to animal group Animalia. Second comes the phylum Chordata, they belong to phylum Chordata. Their class is Mammalia, order is Carnivora, family is Felidae, and genus is Panthera, and the last species is Leo. So this is the hierarchy of the, or the how the names of the Panthera leo or the lion is given the name according to this seven hierarchy system, that is Animalia, Chordata, Mammalia, Carnivora, Felidae, Panthera and Leo. Now how the organisms are given or they are classified according to different groups. So there previously it was given the artificial system of classification and natural system of classification. So classification system is divided into two groups, artificial and natural system of classification. Artificial system of classification of the living organism was given by Aristotle and Theophrastus. They were the scientists who derived the artificial system of nomenclature, and in artificial nomenclature what did they say, that all the living organisms, they are divided according to the habitat in which they live, whether they live on land or they live on in water or air, or according to their features, according to their size, according to their color. But this artificial system of nomenclature was not valid, because according to the artificial system of nomenclature, if the organisms are divided according to their habitat, so if we say that the a whale also live in the water, as well as a small fish also live in the water, frog also live in the water, but they are not having proper classification because their features are different. So we cannot say that they are both, all the whales, whether it is a whale or a fish, they are same, they belong to the same, they are having the same features or belong to the same kingdom or classification. So for that, the artificial system of natural system of classification was given, and natural system of classification was given by Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus, who was also called the father of taxonomy, and he classified all the living organisms, and he mentioned two system of this classification, that is two kingdom classification as well as five kingdom classification. So this will study later. First, I want to tell you what is the basis of the classification of the living organism. How the living organisms are classified, or what are the base of classifying them. So the first one is, it makes the study of all the wide variety of living organisms is easy. So different variety of living organisms are there on the earth, and it is not possible to classify each and every living organism. There are so many, so according to their features, or so when we classify them, then it makes the study easy according to their classification. And second is, it projects before us a picture of all life forms. All life forms means whether it is a fish, or it is a reptile, or it is a mammal, or it is whatever it may be, they means according to their classification we know that this animal belong to this category. And third main basis is, it is essential to understand the interrelationship among living organisms. So how living organisms are interrelated with other living organisms. So it makes the, or means it is essential to understand them and their relationship between the living organisms. And the fourth main important is that it forms a base for the development of the other biological science. Other biological science means in bio only we study different branches of the science, and in that branches also it makes this classification of living organism makes useful for the other study of other biological science. Now this classification system is divided, as I told you, into two kingdom classification and five kingdom classification. So in two kingdom classification, we categorize all the living organisms into plants and animals. But this is also not proper because plants are of variety. There are variety of plants. Small microscopic plants are also there, and multicellular plants are also there. So it is not possible to similar means their similarities means they are dissimilar in many respects, but there's according to the similarities and dissimilarities only the organisms are divided into different categories. So here in two kingdom they are divided into plants and animals. So how they are classified into plants and animals? We all know that plants are fixed at one place, but animals they move from one place to another. And plants they are autotrophic, they prepare their own food, but animals don't prepare their own food, means they depend on the plants. So according to the features how and their functions, the organisms are classified into different categories, plants and animals. But plants and animals are also various types. Animals also, from small microscopic bacteria to a large huge elephant. So this is only about two kingdom classification. But when after what happened, the scientist Whitaker, who was a biologist, he classified the living organism into 5 categories, and these 5 categories are kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, plant and kingdom Plantae, and the last kingdom Animalia. And according to their features, similarities and dissimilarities only, the organisms they are classified into 5 groups, we can say, or 5 kingdoms. Kingdom Monera, which in which the prokaryotic living organisms are categorized, and further the developed organisms they are categorized in the kingdom Protista, and in fungi also some other more developed development we can say, and in the Plantae only the plants are classified or grouped, and in kingdom Animalia the animals, all living animals they are categorized. So according to their similarities and dissimilarities, as I told you, the organisms are classified into 5 kingdoms: kingdom Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. And about the features, what are the different features of kingdom Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia, and how they are categorized, and what are the different similarities between the organisms in which according to which they are classified into these 5 groups, that we'll discuss in the tomorrow's class. So thanks for today.